Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wellbeing at Work, a podcast by Workplace Options, a TELUS Health company. I'm Emily Morgan, a digital marketing intern here at Workplace Options, and today I'm joined by Joni Wright, a learning solutions project manager at WPO. Today, we'll discuss the growing burden of caregiver stress in the workplace, its causes and impact, and how organizations can step in before it's too late. Welcome, Joni. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hello, thank you for the invite. Glad to be here.
Well, to get us started, I was wondering if you could talk a bit more about caregiver burnout, what it is, and why it's a problem in so many workplaces.
Of course. And before I talk about what caregiver burnout is, I want to acknowledge that caregiving comes in many forms. When we hear the word caregiver, many people immediately think of parent caring for a child, but caregiving extends far beyond that. It can mean raising a child, whether they require additional support or not, caring for an aging parent, supporting a spouse or a partner through a chronic illness, or coordinating care for a sibling, grandparent, or another loved one. Caregiver burnout occurs when the demands of providing care becomes physically, emotionally, and mentally overwhelming, especially when individuals are also balancing the responsibilities of their caregiver, their careers, and personal lives. The constant juggling of work commitments, caregiving duties, and everyday responsibilities can lead to chronic stress, exhaustion, and burnout. This has become a significant workplace issue because millions of employees are caregivers in addition to their professional roles. When caregiver burnout goes unaddressed, it can affect an employee's well-being, productivity, engagement, attendance, and retention. As caregiving responsibilities continue to grow across generations, more workplaces are recognizing the need to support employees who are balancing those competing demands.
Yes, like you said, we've seen that caregivers make up a large portion of many workplaces. So, with burnout not only affecting their individual mental health, obviously it's also affecting their performance at work, which can negatively impact the workplace and company they're working for. So, my next question is, why is caregiver burnout prevention so important for organizations? What would you say to those who see it as the individual's responsibility?
Oh, great question. Caregiver burnout prevention is important to organizations because burnout doesn't just impact the individual, it affects the entire workplace. When caregivers are overwhelmed, it can lead to decreased productivity, lower engagement, difficulty meeting deadlines, or service level commitments. As a result, team members often have to absorb additional responsibilities, which can create further stress and strain across the organization. In more severe cases, burnout can contribute to employees taking short term or long term disability leave or leaving the workforce altogether, resulting in lost expertise, increased recruitment costs, and disruption in business continuity. And for those who view caregiver burnout as solely as an individual responsibility, I would challenge that perspective. Caregiving doesn't exist in a vacuum. While caregiving happens outside the workplace, employees don't leave those responsibilities at the door when they start their workday. For example, a caregiver may spend the morning helping an aging parent get to medical appointments, then come back and spend the day meeting project deadlines, and then spend the evening coordinating medications, meals, or school activities. The stress from one role influences the other. When workplace pressures increase, it can make caregiving more difficult, and when caregiving demands increase, it can affect employees' well-being, focus, and energy. So the demands of work and caregiving are interconnected, and the workplace pressures can amplify the personal stress caregivers already that they already carry. Employees may not be able to change a person's caregiver situation, but organizations have the opportunity to be part of the solution by creating a supportive culture, flexible work arrangements, and resources that help employees balance both responsibilities. And then when caregivers feel supported, that individual, that team, and the organization all benefit from that.
like you said, it's a benefit for everyone. And I mean, I'm sure there are many consequences of the inaction. If workplaces, think it is individual responsibility, I'm sure you've seen there are many consequences of that if there's no action taken. Next question. I know your expertise, you have a lot of expertise in the trainings, and I want to know, how do the workplace options global learning solutions help anticipate and prevent caregiver burnout? And how have you seen these trainings actively minimize stress?
Oh, of course. Global Learning Solutions. I've been with this team, I think maybe 11 years now. So I have seen it take a proactive approach to helping both employees and leaders recognize, manage, and prevent caregiver burnout before it reaches a crisis point. Through our personal and professional development programs, training programs, we provide practical tools to help individuals manage stress effectively, adapt to caregiving responsibilities, as well as navigate change and maintain a healthy balance between their career and their caregiving commitments. Our trainings also equip leaders and mental health ambassadors with the skills to recognize when an employee may be struggling. Just as importantly, we teach them how to respond appropriately, not by diagnosing or misassumptions, but by listening with empathy, creating a psychological safe environment, and connecting employees with available resources such as their employee assistance program or their employee resource group, or if needed, a local healthcare provider when appropriate. More recently, we've introduced fireside chats that bring together mental health professionals and individuals with lived caregiver experience. These sessions provide an authentic and relatable perspective that helps participants feel seen, understood, and less alone in their journey. And I think you were saying about the feedback. We've received overwhelmingly positive feedback. One of the most consistent things we hear is how reassuring it is for caregivers to realize that they are not alone. Many people carry feelings of guilt, frustration, and even failure when they're struggling to balance caregiving and workplace responsibilities. These conversations help normalize those experiences and remind people that caregiving challenges are common and that support is available. Another key takeaway, sorry, I'd like to talk a lot. Another key takeaway is that there is a no one size fits all solution to caregiver burnout. Just make that note that what works for one person may not work for another. And through our trainings, participants are exposed to a variety of strategies that allow them to identify approaches that best fit their unique circumstances and needs. And your last question was, on a personal level, how have I seen it? On a personal level, this topic resonates deeply with me because I've experienced caregiver burnout myself. It was through Global Learning Solutions trainings that I gained a clear understanding of what I was experiencing and learned practical strategies to manage those challenges more effectively. As someone who continues to balance both caregiving and career, I can honestly say that those programs have made a meaningful difference in helping me build resilience and sustain my well-being. And I also would like to say, I will end it with this, is I'm still standing, both as a caregiver and as a professional. So therefore, I am a living witness that it does work.
Love the personal connection. That's great. And I mean, not only does it hugely benefit the individual, I'm sure also you've seen it, positively benefit workplace operations day to day as well. So it goes both ways, which I'm sure you've seen too.
Yes, indeed.
And is there anything else you want to say about the prevention aspect? I know you've covered a lot, but anything else about the trainings or specific actions workplaces should take that you haven't already covered?
I guess I'll just leave it with that caregiving doesn't happen in isolation. The challenges a caregiver face at home don't stay separate from their experience at work. And workplace demands can directly affect their ability to manage caregiver responsibilities. So, like I mentioned before, they intertwine, but don't isolate yourself. Reach out. There's help available. The company is here to help. That's what we're here for. And please reach out.
Thank you so much. And it's been a great conversation. So thank you, Joni, for joining me today and sharing your insights with all of us. To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to explore our full catalog of global learning solutions. Be sure to visit our webpage at www.workplaceoptions.com. Until next time, thanks for listening and take care.